Come on, baby. There we go. We're live.
Hello. Welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians Podcast, episode number 508. I'm Otto. Never been in a BlackRock commercial. I'm with Jared.
For the record.
Yeah, for the record.
What's up, guys? I'm Jared.
And we got Sylvanian James Babb.
So good to be here, live from the woods.
So do you reject William Penn? Is that...
Yeah,
outright
screw that guy. Screw that guy. He didn't really have a valid property claim out here. Like the king gave it to him. Like, fuck that. I homesteaded it.
Right. All right. Kyle, what's up?
Hey, guys. Happy to be back on the show. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has.
What's going on, man? It's good to have the token minarchist back.
Real quick, like, what is the Sylvanian? I don't know the reference.
Like Pennsylvania?
It's kind of like a Pennsylvanian.
Oh, okay.
Only without William Penn involved.
Right. Now he's got
it. Means basically of
the woods,
right? The woods.
And who was in a BlackRock commercial that you're not in a BlackRock commercial?
Apparently everyone who's trying to kill Trump.
Oh, that guy was in a BlackRock commercial?
Jared.
I think
Jared
the first guy was. The first guy was. The second guy was in something else, like Newsweek, or no, he was like interviewed in a bunch of shit. He was in like the New York Times.
Interviewed with Newsweek. I heard he was in a BlackRock commercial as well. I'm going to go with that.
I mean, we could just say that.
True or not.
Yeah.
It sounds completely inexplicable, and like the odds of it be happening randomly seem impossible. My theory is that they're all they have like a central casting in the deep state, right? You're making a video, you're doing a false flag, right? It's all under one umbrella. You just go there, you tell them what kind of character you need, and they've got some kind of like drugged out zombie for the job. So naturally, BlackRock and whoever's trying to kill Trump are drawing from the same talent pool. What do you think?
I think that's possible.
So what do we know?
It's like Crisis Actors Inc., you know?
So what do we know about this guy? I mean,
so I don't have the docs here, but what I recall reading was
from North Carolina, lived in Hawaii. This is what I heard.
Actually, I do have this doc.
Went to Ukraine to help recruit foreigners to come fight in Ukraine. So maybe if we have a clip of his interview from Newsweek, you can kind of explain. He's kind of a simpleton, but
sounds really stupid.
Yeah.
Let's see. In 2002, he was convicted for possession of a fully automatic machine gun, which according to the BBC is characterized as a weapon of mass death and destruction. In 2010, he was convicted of multiple counts of possession of stolen goods. In 2019, the FBI received a tip that Ruth was a felon in possession of a firearm. So far, not really.
Not a crime.
Nothing, no criminal stuff except for possession of stolen goods.
Sounds like exactly the kind of guy that the deep state could work with, though. Right?
Yeah.
Like he knows how to handle weapons. He'll do what you say. He's in trouble, right? He's mildly retarded. He's got all the characteristics that they need to make a good patsy.
What do they call those people? Like when they, hijack their brain or something, or use them as a tool? I can't think of it.
56.
Here we go.
U.S. From North Carolina originally, so live in Hawaii now. So flew all the way from Hawaii here.
I don't know.
So,
for Ukraine,
as far as why I'm here, to me,
is that yellow and blue?
A lot of the other conflicts are gray, but this conflict is definitely black and white. This is about good versus evil.
Definitely.
This is a storybook.
Totally.
Any movie we've ever watched.
It's time to stand up for Azov Battalion
against good. I mean, we're battling a situation
here,
man. Where
it's not just him.
Ukrainians and the rest of the world.
This guy's a believer.
And kind and generous and unselfish and take care
just
of
all the
another.
Ukrainians are just unselfish.
Just a matter of, we need to stand up for that. That is the most important thing in the world, is just to show human beings that we're kind and we're caring and that we take care of one another and that the world is united so that we feed each other and make sure that, we all move forward as one collective whole unit. So, we feel the pain of one country's failure and their conflicts, and we enjoy the successes of other countries that are doing good, and we all work together. And for some reason,
let's pause
Russia
that.
does not grasp this concept that
That's what NATO
we're
was
all
created
one
for,
unit,
right?
and we have to get along
Go ahead,
and work
pause it.
together. And
He's literally like, good versus evil, and he's picked Azov Battalion. Like, he's picked the people that are like saran wrapping people to telephone poles because they're suspected Russian sympathizers.
Yep.
He's picking the side that's banned newspapers, political parties, religious organizations.
Yeah.
This is the black and white. It's so crystal clear to him. This is good versus
crystal
evil.
Clear, guys.
And
But how did
what
he get a
kind of-
9-minute interview or 10-minute interview with Newsweek?
This wasn't with Newsweek. So this was with, I believe, a Ukrainian outlet, and Newsweek.
It says like
picked it up.
Romania Newsweek
Yeah,
or something.
Got it.
something,
So
yeah.
Newsweek's only showing it because of the assassination attempt.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I mean, we
So
don't really
who
want to watch
recorded
the whole
this
thing, do
interview?
we?
Who recorded the interview?
I mean, I think it was a Newsweek
It says
interview.
interviewed by Newsweek.
Yeah,
Now, that's freaking Newsweek interviewing him. That is
Yeah.
legit.
It says it's like Romania Newsweek, but it's still Newsweek.
Romanians are people too.
Yeah. And they're all
They have
unselfish.
They have news and stuff, right? Like they,
Yeah.
But
I would think
this guy was. Go ahead.
I would think that his references to collectivism would kind of trigger some libertarians, right? He's kind of like, we're all one world, we're one big collective, and we're all moving in the same direction, right? Except for Russia, they're evil. So, he's using collectivist language, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It sounds like it could have come from a CIA handbook, like talking
Or
points.
a Klaus Schwab handbook.
I'm just trying to think of the vocabulary word for when they commandeer a person. I want to say it's like Manchurian Candidate, but
Yeah.
that's not right. Or is it right? Like,
Well, I
it's-
think Manchurian Candidate, they have to be in a position of power, right?
Okay. Otto has no audio.
No,
That
sorry. My kids are calling me. Like I can never get away. Like
Turn off your phone.
I'm trying to spam the podcast like I always do.
Don't worry about spamming the podcast.
I gotta spam. You know me. I gotta spam away. You
Anyway,
invite
yeah,
me to your
yeah.
shitty
Kyle,
group with
Go
They
ahead.
get like co-opt or
Brainwashed or something.
brainwashed. Yeah.
I just can't think of the term for that. So do we think this guy was brainwashed by the intelligence agencies to try to kill Trump, or is he
No.
just is he
I think
just
he's
a
a
nut?
useful idiot. Useful
right,
idiot.
exactly. He's a true believer. He goes into this situation like he's one of these people, like these NPCs.
Well, they might have turned
just-
him into this. That is highly possible that he was just a regular retarded person,
Could.
and they turned him into this.
Well, yeah,
I've been
maybe
around the
after he
LP
got-
long enough. There's a lot of these guys roaming the LNC floor.
I
at
mean,
the,
maybe after
convention.
maybe after he got busted for having a machine gun, they're like, look, you can go to jail for 30 years, or you can join our program.
But understand
you
this.
can
Get
go-
this. So he
Yeah,
gets to go to.
you can go to. How'd you like to go to Europe and help us
And
with a
shoot
little
machine
recruitment
guns.
drive?
Right. So he gets to go to Europe and fly. But after being convicted of having weapons of mass destruction, pretty sure that's a felony. So yet he gets to fly an airplane, but yet
Right.
Tulsi Gabbard, who challenges Kamala Harris, gets put on a terrorist watch list and
Right.
can't on a no-fly list. Explain that one. Yeah, because this crazy wackadoo is on the side of the regime. Like clearly, like that's all
But
this
the
is.
question is, did he do it on his own, or was he molded through some kind of like combination of like psychiatric drugs and other techniques to literally like mold him into a slave? I mean, what's going to happen to this guy? Right? I mean,
Well, he didn't actually fire a shot at him, right? He just got found with the weapons.
No, I thought he took
Or with
several
the AK?
shots. I thought he took a few shots.
Did he?
I don't know. I don't know.
The story
all I know
seems
is-
like really like they're purposely like concealing the details of it.
well, narrative
like,
writers haven't
wait,
agreed
which
on a
assassination are you
final
talking
script
about?
yet.
Yeah,
You got to
exactly.
narrow
They're like,
that
well,
down.
we can't even let this one like get enough traction.
It's embarrassing.
I think that first they just try to baffle you with bullshit and create confusion.
They did hear.
Then they wait to see what people can actually find out
All right,
in
here we go.
reality. And
Here's
then they
the
can better
docs.
construct the final narrative to
Here's
fit
the-
around whatever details.
Here's the BBC narrative, at least. He said
Oh.
the Secret Service knew immediately there was gunshots. They grabbed him before everyone just got in the golf carts. Blah blah blah. Gunshots turned out to be from an agent firing at Ruth.
See? So how did the agents? Yeah, the agents immediately knew there were gunshots because they're the ones shooting. That's
Right.
some great reporting there. Way to
Yeah,
go, guys.
So-
That's why I'm like, I don't know that he actually fired.
Okay, then he didn't.
anything.
Okay, so they saw him because he had like this weird
He had this thing. that,
Kalashnikov.
like,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
thing. It's pretty rare to have, from what I.
Well,
was
they probably
told.
saw that. They probably
It's a
saw
question
that
for
hairdo
Joe.
and that
Where's
shirt,
Joe?
and they were just like, you know what? Better shoot him.
Yeah.
Just in case.
They got him alive though, right? He's still alive.
for Liberty.
think.
for liberty. Sup, Eric?
Yeah. So so they got him for this, but then tells me, how did he know? Because apparently, from what I heard, his golfing whatever endeavor was last minute, wasn't planned.
There
Wait,
was
Trump's
somebody who
golfing?
knew. There was somebody who knew
Someone
and who
had
publicly
to. How did he
talked
know
about
to be
this.
there?
There was somebody who publicly discussed talking with Trump about his golf plans. And,
this?
and this
Roger
is
Stone.
Lindsey Graham.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Do we have docs? Because that would be awesome.
Let me see if I can find the video.
Uh-oh.
I mean, was this at Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah,
I guess I need to look back at the docs here.
I think this is the golf course on
Trump International Golf Course at the Mar-a-Lago
Yeah,
Resort.
there you go.
Did you
That's what I
guys
thought.
see Trump's
Suspect
tweet?
arrested on I-95 highway. So I guess he fled and they found him? This story is so
he
fucking
fled,
confusing.
he fled and they
dude.
somehow chased him, I guess.
This
I thought
story
they
is
got him there,
so
but I
confusing.
didn't know.
Same here.
But anyway, Lindsey, I'm looking for this video, but Lindsey Graham had this conversation. He was telling the story to somebody about how like Trump was doing this stuff, and he said he's going to go play golf, and he told him like, hey, don't worry about this stuff. Go have a good round of golf, and like nobody else knew about it.
It's a little sketch.
Did you see Trump's tweet where he tweeted like 0 for 2?
Yeah.
Apparently that was fake. That's fake.
Oh,
That's
that was
fake?
fake.
Yeah,
Oh,
fake.
damn.
I know.
Damn.
It
All
would've
right,
been
well,
cool.
fake
yeah,
news
I
there.
would've- I
Sorry,
would've
guys.
tweeted that.
This whole, I mean, I get it. I keep saying I don't get it, but I get it. Like, I know exactly what's going on. You know, this is clearly, it's going to be memory hold as much as possible. Trump's not going to talk about it because he's so deathly afraid of getting on the bad side of the people who are there to protect him. It's just, I wonder. And then there was allegedly explosives at the thing, which I don't know. It seemed kind of like a,
There's always explosives,
Yeah.
right? They're always like,
Right,
we found
you're
his
always
car
finding
and there were explosives. Like,
right. It was probably like a fire.
Because you
truck.
that's always-
there.
Yeah, it's
Sprinkle
always
some
part of
crack
the
on
clean
him.
that it's always an option for the cleanup if necessary
Right,
to just
right.
blow everything up.
Yeah,
right?
if we need to get rid of the evidence, just
Yeah, like it's just
detonate.
just standard procedure.
Oh, he survived. He can talk now. Boom.
I
You guys
know.
remember that story with the it was like, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe more, but the crazy guy like drove a camper into the middle of Nashville filled with bombs
Yeah.
and just fucking, and he had this like crazy announcement
Year's
going
Day,
on
right?
telling people, yeah, it was like, yeah, I think it was
The
New Year's
AT&T
Day.
building. It was the AT&T building he went to go blow up.
Well, no, he just parked it in the middle of the street. It didn't actually like destroy any buildings or anything. I mean, it like damaged buildings. It didn't. I don't think it
Yeah.
knocked anything over.
No,
though,
no.
but-
It just took down.
And he was
some
like,
of the
and it
fronts
was
of
like, it was like giving a warning. It was like, everybody evacuate the area. This thing's gonna explode.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And then it did. It was fucking nuts, dude. Anyways, speaking of tweets, here's a tweet that did actually happen, and it is
Mhm.
from the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire.
Oh, dude, how
Oh,
did I
boy.
forget this one? I forgot to put this one on the list.
So the first tweet from them said, anyone who murders Kamala Harris would be an American hero, in response to a another tweet that said, "I disagree with the assault weapons ban, but maybe save the threatening rhetoric, eh?" And then there's a follow-up tweet where the LPNH says, "We deleted a tweet because we don't want to break the terms of this website we agreed to. It's a shame that even on a free speech website that libertarians cannot speak freely, libertarians are truly the most oppressed minority."
That's Twitter,
Where's the lie?
right?
Where's
This
the
is
lie?
on Twitter. So where's the lie in both cases?
I don't want to like spread disinformation, but I did hear that this was a Kaufman tweet, Jeremy Kaufman, and that he was visited by the FBI as a result
Yep,
of this.
that's
tweet.
where we're going.
It's
No,
down.
it's
Like,
got to be there.
it's gone now.
There's no way.
This is the link that I had shared in our. Hold on. How do I? Okay.
There's
let me
no
see if I
way.
can track it down.
Let me see if
It's
I
got to be there. There's millions of people watch this. It had like 34 million viewers on it.
Maybe something changed with the URL. Let's see.
I've got it.
You've got it. Here.
Oh, here we go. Right here. This is the 4 minutes. If you guys want to, it's priceless. So hopefully you guys are watching along.
Yeah. All right.
And keep an eye on the look at their faces and body language throughout.
So this
thing,
is a,
'cause
I don't know. This
it's
might be it, or
pretty
this is
epic.
from the first.
I think it's probably the
Just
whole thing.
Press
So let's
play.
just see it.
So then why would you come?
Because we wanted
Nah,
to make
see,
sure
it's-
that there weren't any.
This doesn't start. There's find the other one, the full one.
Yeah.
I've got it right here.
All right. We'll share it in the chat.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
sure.
I didn't spread misinformation there. That actually did happen then.
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah. I watched the whole
Yes.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are a
The
little
link
ahead
that
of
I
me.
had is now gone.
I did
Try the
not
one
watch
I just
the-
posted.
Okay.
That looks like it right there.
It's great radio.
Yeah, that's it right there. Yep.
All right. I don't know why my link.
Well, we have the state of the art research department here at the show.
You want to be like Rogan, like, hey, pull that up.
we have the
Yeah.
disinformation department over here.
How can I help you?
That's it. So two dickheads walk up.
A clipboard, I guess.
Yeah. Here we go.
Major O'Donnell with the FBI.
Can you give your full name, please?
Major O'Donnell with the FBI.
Is that sufficient to identify as the only one O'Donnell affiliated with the FBI? Could you please state your full name, sir?
Could you please stop recording?
No. It's First Amendment right.
Okay.
What's your name, sir?
Could you stop recording?
Absolutely not. You can show me your name and identification, or I'm going to go back inside my house.
Okay.
I don't really want to broadcast my.
Oh, this is going out right after you guys
I
walk
know,
away.
So that's why I'm not going to.
So you can show me your name or ID. You can walk away.
We just want to talk about
I'm not going to talk to people who claim to be federal agents unless they can show me identification.
You see our badges?
I need to see. Is your full name on that badge?
No.
I'd like to see something with your full name, or I'm not going to talk to
I
you.
prefer you not to broadcast.
This will be going online as soon as you walk away.
Well, all I want to do is talk to you about a post that was made, and if you
Well,
happen to be the one that made the
I want to
post,
talk to you about you guys coming here. Say you make a salary of, I don't know what, low 100K? You guys making six figures? Factor in 50% expenses, overhead, maybe 100% expenses. Talking about burning a couple $100 an hour just here, let alone all the time you guys are spending to investigate something that you know is not against the law, right? Like
So
you're
not
familiar
saying
with.
it is, we just
So then
wanted to
why
make
would you
sure-
come?
Because we wanted to make sure that there weren't any. other
No, you're
threats.
coming because you're part of a regime that does this kind of thing when you know laws aren't being broken. And that's an embarrassment, man. Didn't you guys read the Constitution? Do you not believe in America? Like, how do you do your
Thank you
jobs
for
and
your
go
time.
home?
We appreciate it.
You're walking away.
Yeah.
Because nothing we did is against the law. And you guys are fuckheads that try to act like
Fuckhead.
bullies. And I hope you go home and are embarrassed. You can't even say your name on camera because you know that what you're doing is embarrassing. You know Americans that believe in the Constitution think you're laughable. You go home and you think about what you did today. Go home and think about it, you cowards. Drive away. Drive away. You're not welcome. You should be embarrassed. Embarrassing. You guys are embarrassing.
He's putting their license plate. It's probably a rental car, but still.
They probably flew out for the week to do this little interview.
and the middle finger just to end it.
Yeah, that's how you
Classic.
talk to the cops.
Yeah, that's not how
Well-
Kyle talks to the cop.
Yeah,
Well,
you don't
yeah,
invite
let's-
them in for coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I'm
from
gonna give him a
T.
B. I'm gonna give him a B plus, right? Like,
Too many words.
and he gets a pass because he has special skills. Like, like if you're a trained professional, like maybe like from Cop Block or, like, okay, you can risk it, but the rules should apply. Like, just don't talk to cops, right? You can make great video, but he did a
He has
really good job.
He has a
of-
very particular set of skills.
I know. I feel like he handled. I mean, obviously the result was.
I
very
think he gets
positive,
bonus points for
and
calling them fuckheads, though. I think that
Yeah.
takes him back up to an
That
A.
should always. I think that should always like sort of take precedence over don't talk to cops unless you're like flicking them the bird, telling them to fuck off. That, like, right? Do we give that speech a pass?
Yeah, I think we do.
It
yeah.
seemed like he saw them coming, right? He was recording like when they were just getting out, I guess.
I saw
or
them
maybe-
park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like they had gone to a neighbor's house first,
Hmm.
and he was probably I'm sure.
Well, let me
knew
ask you
something was
this:
happening.
how did they know? And obviously, it's not hard to figure out. It's not like it takes genius detective work, but like, how did they know that he was the one that posted the tweet? Like, who at the LP narked on him?
No one narked on him. There's
Probably Elon. I bet you there's
Yeah, was
every
it Elon
account that
narked on
does
him?
a post is fingered. Or do you know something else, Otto?
I don't know. I don't anyone didn't dime him. He's been on a few podcasts since. He's been on Dave Smith, and I think he went on The System Is Down too. So he might have more insight to that by the time you guys are listening to it. But I didn't hear anyone specifically say him. They kind of have a closed door. I know in LPNH they have a closed door thing where they don't disclose who makes the tweets, like who sends it out.
But
We assume
Elon
it's
knows who's
Jeremy.
logged in, right?
He's added
Elon's
the
gonna know
IP
who's
address,
logged
you know,
in.
it's probably a simple
Yeah,
thing
I
to
mean that's what
find.
I'm saying. Like, it's not hard to figure it out, but I just want to know whether somebody narked on him or whether it was Elon or.
So it could have been Elon or Twitter. I always assume that the intelligence agencies pretty much have unrestricted access to
Yeah, they
everything on
Probably
social
have a
media.
backdoor.
They can find anything in private groups, anything. Yeah, they have like a back door. That's how I assume.
Yeah, but
I
how are
just
they,
act
how are
as
they
if-
going to structure it? How are they going to structure it after the fact to justify it? Is the question.
Well,
You know
they
what I mean?
don't.
Like-
I don't know that they need to structure. They just. I don't know. They could say we got a tip or something. I kind of knew it was Kaufman or assumed it was Kaufman just because I know that he's in New Hampshire and that he posts radical things. So it's just my assumption.
I saw the video before the original tweet. So
I just
never
guessed
really
it
had
was
to
him.
wonder about
I was like,
I saw
that's
the-
probably Kaufman.
Like I said, I think before the show, the tweet got shared in like my like college friend chat, which is
Wow.
which
Oh
like
yeah,
Eric,
my uncle, my
which, like
boomer uncle
Eric's
sent
in
it
there,
to
but
me.
everyone else is pretty much like normie or
Mhm.
left leaning.
Yeah.
So
if
the
they
key
heard you're a
question is-
libertarian, they're like, what about your boy, Jared? What
They're
about
like
this?
libertarian is a brain rot ideology.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, man.
So-
This is like kind of based.
do you think it was a valid tweet? I mean, let's just approach it from like, first of all, is it true? Second of all, is it good PR value for the organization that
I mean,
posted it?
I'm not a fan of political violence. I don't think, generally speaking, it brings about good results. Now, I think war criminals deserve, to be held to justice, and whatever that entails. So,
Well, I think there's definitely a self-defense argument. She's made credible threats of extreme violence,
yep.
and we're allowed to defend ourselves against this kind of thing. I mean, that's the reality of it. But now, is it good PR for the organization? Well,
No, I mean,
yeah.
they're I'm pretty sure their whole, I don't want to speak for them, but I'm pretty sure their whole goal is we're going to be as obnoxious and as rude as hell to discourage anyone who's not a libertarian or conservative moving to New Hampshire. It's just
Yeah.
kind of to keep people from Massachusetts and Vermont out of their state. So there's like, let's just say the most fucked up shit and just say our minds. And yeah, so pretty sure that's the way they roll it.
Yeah, I thought it was really inappropriate. I mean, If anybody does attempt to make an attempt on her life, they could try to charge him with incitement or something like that. I don't know. I could see that coming back on him, but I mean, like it or not, she has millions and millions of supporters, and they're certainly not going to appreciate that. Tell him saying that she should be murdered. So I thought it was like unprofessional from coming from a political party, and I thought it was a really bad look.
Doesn't
But
say she should be murdered. It just said if somebody did it, they would be a hero.
it's kind of you're splitting hairs there. I mean,
Well,
certainly
yeah, but
saying,
I'm sure they chose the words very carefully in that tweet. It doesn't say go murder Kamala.
Right. Yeah, that would be incitement.
yeah. Again, I don't know. It's a little dicey. So I mean, it's not anything I ever would have said. Like and it's not really to me about just Kamala. It's about ideas, right? It's a war of ideas, and these are good ideas and bad ideas, and price controls.
Well, that's
on
why
grocery
political
stores
violence is generally ineffective, because it's just brute force, right? It's not winning people over to your cause via logic or even, emotion or whatever. It's just, I killed the guy that you liked. So
Yeah, but then they
Yeah,
just
I
put
guess you-
somebody
I guess
else
you're on
what
my
if
up.
this
team now.
became what if this was normal though, that when somebody did some terrible tyrannical shit,
well,
somebody got mad enough.
Well,
Somebody
that's
got
what we
mad
used to
enough
do.
take justice into
We
their own
used to-
hand.
we used to decapitate rulers. We used to decapitate
Right, so-
tyrants when they fucking
Right.
fucked
It
us
would
Like
be
up.
if the king
constant.
got
It-
too tyrannical, they can't they people rose up.
I mean,
Um,
all sides think that they hate the other side with such a passion, like they'd be willing to kill. Like, I don't know. They do. They hate libertarian leaning candidates just as much as we don't like their candidates. Like, but there's always somebody else to step up and represent those ideas. I don't. I just think it's really bad
Right.
PR. I think it was really dumb. If he wants to post that on his personal account, that's fine. But that reflects on the entire LP, and it's like,
do you guys want to hear the LPNH just put out a tweet an hour ago regarding the mean tweets? If you
Oh,
want to
boy.
hear it, let's read this out loud, everyone. So
Let me
it says
see if I can find it here.
Okay, it's LPNH or Libertarian Party New Hampshire at LPNH.
Official statement. This thing?
No, it goes down to regarding the most recent mean tweets controversy.
it's either an apology or a
An
double
hour
down,
ago.
right?
What do
it's,
you
it's,
think?
it's already.
I think it's gonna
by
be
calling it mean tweets. It's already going to be a double down. I can
Yeah,
tell.
it's gonna be a double. It's gonna be a double down. That's my guess.
Okay, I don't see this tweet. You might have to share it or just
Okay.
read it.
I'm just going to read it. It says, our intent to call attention to the double standard regarding what's okay to say and what isn't has inadvertently resulted in harm to some people we admire and respect. And to those people, we apologize. LPNH will be, wait a minute, hold on. We'll be drafting a new communication guidelines to make it clear we believe celebrating violence should only be about past violence, never future violence. Okay.
Oh, they caved.
It's hard to interpret
Cave.
what the heck that means, honestly.
Okay, no,
Celebrating
we're going to
past
do a new
violence-
policy.
violence?
Blah 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 blah. Yeah, you caved.
Maybe.
I'm not saying that they did the wrong thing. It's
I
a
know.
really it's a tough situation because the tweet is technically correct, and I mean I don't see any reason why part of the conversation shouldn't be if there's no justice in the official system, then it falls on to who for actual justice in this world.
Well, it's
I mean,
amazing how
like-
quickly. Go
11
ahead.
hours ago, they just called this. They just said you are fat, ugly, and only in the Libertarian Party because no decent party would tolerate your presence. Talking about this woman who's running for Congress because she said they should be disaffiliated. So that was 11 hours ago. So maybe something happened in the past 11 hours, but that tweet's still up.
The murder tweet.
No, the one I just read about
Oh.
calling that girl ugly and fat.
I was thinking it'd be fun to do a whole show on
Ridiculous.
defensive violence and how it really applies, because did you guys see that Walter Block, Dave
Ugh.
Smith debate on
Oh yeah, I
use of-
saw it.
Anyway, they're
Ugh,
both terrible
brutal.
on this. I don't think anybody really benefited from that. But there's really interesting questions though that libertarians have to address. Is what are the limits of self-defense? How do you really square self-defense with putting other innocent people in danger. And I don't think there's anyone would argue that this wouldn't be a legitimate case of self-defense for anybody to do whatever they needed to protect themselves from a political tyrant, right? I mean, if they wish you dead, robbed, right? I mean,
I would
would
argue.
anybody argue that there's no right of self-defense?
Yeah. I mean, they're the government. They can do things that you don't like, that that you don't agree with, and that's sort of that's the concept of government, is that you submit.
But at what point do you stand up, right? Like, at what point, when Hitler takes charge, do you realize, like, okay, maybe you have an opportunity to take his ass out? Do you take his ass out, or is it like?
Well, I mean, I advocate, I guess, leaving first, like leaving the country. If the country has become so oppressive that you can't stand it anymore, you leave.
That's not an option for everybody,
or you can get politically active and say, I want to, we want to replace these candidates with better candidates.
So when you're in the train car or shoved into the ghetto in Poland, like, you're just gonna vote your way out?
Yeah. I think you
got. Did you just say move to Somalia? Did you literally tell us to move to Somalia?
I mean, you have to really explore your options. It's not just that government. It's the society around you that supports that oppression as well. So you can't just kill one politician and solve the problem. That politician is reflecting the will of the people.
No, he's representing the will of the corporate overlords. So they'll just replace him with someone else just as bad, if not. Yeah. So killing that person, it's not like the king.
The tactical situation.
I mean, I would say in the Hitler case, like, he was pretty much the whole thing. But that's like kind of the.
He had a whole party supporting him, and
he had a whole party, but he was. I mean, if you took out Hitler, but if you took out Hitler, I think that largely ends the problem right there. But
what's that law called where every political conversation turns into talking about Hitler in Germany?
Well, it's such a good analogy for what we're talking about. I can't just not use a good example, right?
Yeah, because
I mean, you're talking about a tyrannical government.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like relating it to like trans rights or something. Like, I'm talking about tyrannical governments.
Let's not confuse the tactical considerations of somebody wanting to shoot the president. Okay, obviously that is like, unless you've got some kind of an army or what, like that's probably not going to go well. And from a just purely tactical, that's not going to advance your cause, right? But that's a different question. From do we have the right? Does anybody have the right to defend themselves from a tyrannical politician? And I think only a true statist would say, no, your duty is to submit to that and die.
Well, not die, preferably, if you can avoid that. But you're not supposed to.
But unless the tyrant wishes it.
You're not supposed to engage. You're not supposed to engage in armed rebellion. That's not a good.
Why not?
Because everybody's going to sit here and say, well, I hate this guy. I hate this government. And everybody starts resorting to violence, right?
So your duty is to just die or be plundered by these people.
Well, you do what we do and start a podcast. I don't know.
All right.
Like, I mean, what do we do, Babs?
But you are kind of mixing up tactics with just whether it's morally acceptable, right?
God.
Yeah. What?
I mean, it's funny how.
Do I got to put up the autism banner?
It's funny no. Sorry, I got hit. I just got it. Something just came through on the Instagram. Sorry, guys. It's
pay attention, Otto.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted.
We've already been demonetized.
It's funny how the libertarians, right, that are supposedly so peaceful and so like, oh, live and let live and all that, and all of a sudden it's, well, who can we murder? You know what I mean?
Kyle, do you really not understand the difference between self-defense and murder? Come on.
Yeah, but you extend self-defense.
What's the difference? Explain to me the difference between self-defense and murder.
You'll take it and say, well, government's taxing me. They're taking my money, so that I'm just defending myself by killing them. Right? That's you make that leap, and it's like all of a sudden you think you can shoot.
I mean, what's a bigger leap, saying that or saying that just because they have special uniforms and badges that they have extra rights? I think that's more of
What
a
if
leap than
carjacker?
saying
Am I allowed to defend myself against a carjacker? Like, what? Wait, hold on, carjacker. Are you private or government? Oh, I'm sorry. Enjoy my vehicle, sir. You
Now,
know,
see,
like,
there I would support it because yeah, there is a difference, right? One we designate as the people who are allowed to use violence, and one we designate as someone who's not allowed to use violence.
I didn't designate either of these people allowed to use violence.
I know you
on me.
didn't, but the rest of society did. You live in a
I
society
don't know if
that
they did or
said
not. How do
that
you know
says
that?
these. You can just tell. I don't know.
How do you know? Well, I don't know. It's a bold
I
claim.
mean, we
back it
could
up.
take a poll, Babs. Like we could go around and ask 100 neighbors, and 100 of them would say, "Yes, that's a cop. Yes, that's a criminal." You know,
90%
like
of
everybody
people
else
were
can tell the
against-
difference except for you.
I don't know, man.
90% of people were against the banker bailouts, and the banker bailouts went through and billions and billions and billions of dollars got moved to bankers, and nobody and was this the will of the people too?
Yeah, but what did they
90%
do?
were
Did they
against
punish?
it.
Did they punish any of those politicians? No, they reelected all those same people. You know, and and you say
Right,
banker
so what you're
bailouts,
saying is
deserve it.
reelect.
What
So
if they
the
didn't bail
people
them out?
deserved it 'cause they
so
didn't
wait,
vote
hold on. The
hard
political process failed, Kyle.
I mean, it didn't fail. That's what the people wanted. They didn't want to lose their savings accounts. If you don't bail out the banks, then you go, well, sorry, you can't access your money anymore. Your bank account's gone.
Okay, so if the majority wants your stuff, you're willing to go with that.
I mean, I don't know that I'm saying I'm willing to go with it. I'm as politically active as I can be, trying to get taxes lowered.
I'm just saying, it's like, well, they decided, the society decided they get your stuff, so I'm supposed to go along with it, right?
You don't have to go along with it. You could, begrudgingly, you can bitch about it and try to get things changed. But
I can't like.
yeah, you live in a society that wants high
You live in a
taxes to pay for a
society.
bunch of stuff.
But I can't defend it when they come in and try to take it. I'm not allowed to put up a fight or anything.
No, you're not. That's how it works.
Well, I'm just saying, it's not about you're not. It's just you'll probably die. Like they have
you'll probably die,
overwhelming
but
force.
it's like
NASA has a
We
freaking
don't try to mix up like tactics with like the real moral position here.
all right,
I think-
who decided to live in a country that supports, we'll say, public schools, right? The public schools, they tax you for that. You live in a
I don't
community
remember
that wants
choosing to be
public
born.
schools, right?
I didn't
you were
choose to be born in a school district.
right? But you were born into a society that already existed, into a country that already existed.
Once
It was here first.
Original sin.
Well, you were late to the party, I guess you could say. But I mean, you
the
live.
original sin, and I must always atone for the sin that I was born into. Okay.
I don't know if I would say born into sin, but you were born into a society that has public schools and that wants public schools, and you owe money for those public schools. I don't know
Speaking
how
of
else to tell
government
it to you.
schools, speaking of government schools, I have something that I just came to my attention while I was on my way picking up my son from baseball practice tonight. So he practices at a local government school that he doesn't go to. It's one town over from me. And we were walking to the car and I noticed something.
Literally Kyle right now.
There's like pedos in the parking lot stalking. Who knows?
Well, yes. So I happened to look through the window and see this on the wall. If you guys can see that.
This is in a classroom?
Yeah, it's in a classroom. It says, so people listening, it's three
Typical.
flags. It has the rainbow flag. It says equality on it. In the middle is Black Lives Matter next to the ultra trans whatever flag hanging behind that. And
Every time I see that flag, it has more colors and
it's got more
symbols
things now.
on
There's
it.
like a circle. It's got all stuff to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is hanging up, and there's also like a Rosie the Riveter poster on the other side. You can't see in the picture. So I happened to notice this in the window, and I was like, "What?"
And then it also says sponsored by Pfizer. What? Wait a minute.
And apparently, so I know someone who sends their kid to that school, and they told me that their son's friend got in trouble for questioning why that stuff was on the wall. He got in trouble. Just questions. Yeah. So
that's part of public schools is now everything's a fight right now because it's public. It's like your agenda versus my agenda, and I don't want your agenda in the schools that my kids go to. And
Tragedy
just
of the
for For the
Hey,
record, I mean,
but
I'm
you
for private.
you were born
school.
into it, so you have to enjoy it.
No, I actually am a supporter of private schools, like full
Yeah.
privatization, right? I'm not for the teachers unions and the
Hell
public
yeah.
schools and public funding, even voucher
Kyle,
school.
you landed in a society that already had government schools, so you
Well,
must
that's the
obey
difference
and
between
submit
us,
and
right? I
protect.
recognize that, out of if you 99 people out of 100 in my community love the public schools. I'm the only
Oh,
one
yeah.
that thinks we shouldn't have public schools.
But I don't think those people have a right to complain about this stuff here. I mean, you're subjecting yourself to the public school, your children to the public schools. Like, okay, I guess you can go vote about it.
Well, they have a
or-
right
or
to
join the
complain
school
about
board.
it. We
Oh,
all
yeah, I guess you
complain.
can complain about it,
They,
but it's
they
like
go, hey, my tax dollars are paying for this bullshit. And you're
your
indoctrinating my
welfare
kids.
that you're receiving
then-
isn't up to snuff.
And then Kyle informs them that they were born into it and to shut up and enjoy it. Right?
I might say something similar to a parent that was pissed about this. I'd be like, hey, you want public schools? You're gonna get whatever you get. And
That's
Dude,
what I was
I
saying, yeah.
love hearing people complain about the government schools.
My-
I mean, and
I
I'm
have
just,
some-
first thing I do is just shut up and listen. Just let them go on and on and on and on about how shitty the government schools are.
I have some
And it
friends
just-
that actually are public school teachers, and one of them was telling me about this story where this kid wore a MAGA hat to school. Now the school has a policy:
Oh,
no
no.
hats, no hats of any type.
Especially
Okay.
MAGA hats.
But the MAGA hat aside, no hats of any type. So they told him to take it off, and now his parents are like suing the school because he's not allowed to like express his First Amendment rights.
yeah,
But it's
free
like
speech.
the school policy is no fucking hats.
Yeah, free speech.
And I'm just
right?
like, stop sending your kid to public school.
that one
Right.
could go to the Supreme Court. That's a tricky one.
But I'm sure
Yeah.
Catholic schools probably don't allow you to wear hats either.
No.
Well,
Right,
do you,
well,
re-
it's
do you
private
remember?
property.
Do you remember when Pete Eyre of Cop Block went to jail for wearing a hat?
Oh
You guys
wait,
remember
no,
that
he
story?
well he wore the hat to court, right?
Yeah, that did
Yeah.
not go well. And then Adamo ended up going to jail too when he confronted the judge in the stairwell with the camera just to ask him questions. The judge felt threatened and put Adamo in jail too. Anyway, hats are extremely important to tyrants for some reason. Like, I don't know what it is about. I guess the hat is just defines who
It's
you are.
anti-Semitism, dude.
I just
It
watched a
shows
video.
that-
Anti-Semitism.
I saw a video with a judge, and judges in their courtroom are like, you have to be very careful with triggering a judge because they will definitely have you locked up. They have so much power in those courtrooms. If you wore a hat in the courtroom and the judge told him to take it off, they can charge you with contempt of court, and then you're in deep trouble. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Hey, you were born into it. Judges are the rulers.
I mean, I can't, complain
yeah,
about.
you were born
a
into
petty
it. This is a
tyrant.
society that society has agreed that hats are inappropriate in front of the judge who is morally superior to you little people. And if the little people choose to wear a hat, they shall be punished. And it has been decreed by the majority. So
They're not morally superior, but I'm just
word
to the wise.
Could
You
you
gotta
throw
watch
somebody in a
yourself.
cage? Could you throw somebody in a cage for disagreeing with
With
their
your P.
headwear?
Diddy, baby.
For disagreeing with what?
If you disagreed with somebody's choice of headwear, could you throw them in a cage? No.
I like to
They
think
can
I
because
don't
they're
know.
morally superior to you under the system that you were born into and therefore must accept.
I'm pretty easygoing, so I don't know that I would, but
Could you
mean-
imagine Kyle just like this motherfucker? Could you imagine Kyle getting
Get
to
in
that
the
level?
cage, Kyle. Get in
yeah,
the
I mean,
cage.
when you get into those positions of authority, it's like you really have the power to say. Like in the video I watched, the guy was recording, and the judge he was in the audience, and she said, "What are you recording? What are you doing?" Or he took a picture, I think, and she's like, "You're gonna have the bailiff delete that picture off your phone, and then you're gonna get out of here." Or she was pissed, and I don't know. Judges are intimidating. They're just definitely
Federal
they got a lot of
employees
power.
don't like being filmed. Apparently.
What's that? Yeah, I know.
Well, so Kyle, if you're being tormented by a corrupt judge, is it our duty to obey, or are we allowed to defend?
I don't know.
Can you
I
tackle
guess
the judge like that one dude?
it hasn't happened to me yet that I've been tormented by a corrupt judge. I don't know.
Well, we've certainly seen it enough times in the world.
I've seen it.
Like I've seen videos. Like, have you guys seen like that Courtroom Wars or whatever, that show where the like people, judge tells them to do something and they disagree or flip the judge off, and then the judge like loses their mind. So yeah, it happens. I don't know. I just try to stay out of the legal system
Yeah,
altogether.
it's great that judges can just arbitrarily increase their sentence based on how they perceive them to be like cooperating.
Yeah, they have a ton of power. And then
Like I've seen it where the guy just like hands out a sentence and then the plaintiff is like, makes some kind of noise and they're like, all right, that's another 5
Yep.
years now. It's
I
like,
know, right? That I hate
wow.
that shit.
Well, how about
But there's
Judge Catherine Forrest, when she was sentencing Ross Ulbricht, specifically referenced his philosophy and was very concerned that his philosophy hasn't changed. And therefore, this is going to reflect in his sentence. Double life plus 40 years. Okay.
yeah,
So, yeah, these motherfuckers are ruthless.
They are.
And
really are.
I don't see how anybody could say we don't have a right to self-defense against people like this.
I mean, it's just a matter. It's just to the extent of what you mean self-defense for. I mean, I don't know.
you're not interacting with that judge right now, right? Like, even if you,
Well, it goes back
if
to
you
that
were in
video
her
that-
courtroom and
that
at her
Larkin-
mercy, I still don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
Well, once again, we're not talking about whether it's effective tactically. We're just talking about whether you're morally.
Right. It's important to keep those things separate.
Yeah. Because, obviously, it's like the Larkin Rose video about when is it okay to like kill a cop, right?
Yeah, it's a great example.
And he makes
when
a good, and in the case that he lays out is basically what we're saying here, which is like, yeah, you do have the right if you're getting arrested to defend yourself. Is it a good idea? Probably
Maybe.
not.
Yeah.
Well,
whereas
maybe
I
it
would
is.
say
In the
no.
last-
I would
I
say
mean,
it's
it might-
immoral. So we actually have a disagreement on what's moral and what's not moral.
I think we do.
Well, remember that in the last century, 500 million people waited too long. Okay. 500 million people said, no, I won't shoot a cop. Okay. 500 million people were killed by their own governments in the last century. So
Some of them were shooting
to
back.
say to say this is some kind of a weird hypothetical question is to completely ignore history, right? Like, I mean, the founding fathers that people like celebrate on the 4th of July were cop killers. This is established.
Well,
like
in that case, I mean, that was a much different scenario, right? Because the colonies had declared independence, and then they said, "Look, we have our own government. You guys are no longer, government officials on
So
this
wait, what,
land."
if we
You're
on the podcast
creative.
form our own government, can we just start murking cops then? Is that kosher?
Government? No, I think
in fact, I recently did do a vote right here on my compound, and we're in 100% agreement to completely secede from all their bullshit. It has been decreed by the majority.
I think if you
Therefore,
could get a larger
whoever's
area,
born here must obey.
yeah, I really don't agree with the individual secession thing, right? Because then you go, well,
Sovereign citizens.
P. Diddy goes, "Hey, bud, it was my apartment, and I'm sovereign, and I don't have to obey your laws," right? You have the criminal just says, "Hey, I'm not subject to these laws. I do whatever I want," right? And then he just goes on with his criminal activity. So it's not going to work to allow an individual to secede. But if you have an entire state like Pennsylvania says we want to be independent, then I think they might have a
this
case.
once before. What's the minimum size allowed?
I'll go 5 million people.
5 million. So
There you go.
4,999,999. You're shit out of luck.
You
must
better
obey.
start collecting some signatures. I don't know.
But if somebody could have a baby, just have one baby, and suddenly you'll be master of your own destiny.
So like, not even wait. So like,
let's get
Baltimore can't secede. Like maybe the Baltimore metro area could.
I don't know, man.
secede.
I was just throwing out a number. Let's
York.
move on. We've been arguing this, going in
Yeah.
circles for a while here.
Let's get the
What other
PDD
docs
raping.
we got?
We got pagers.
Gavin
How
Newsom.
about AB?
Oh yeah,
Gavin-
let's talk about the
Okay,
terrorist attacks. Let's talk about Israeli terrorist
Go to
attacks.
Gavin Newsom. It's way funnier.
Gavin-
than the
sure,
All right,
terrorist.
I want to hear the Gavin Newsom story.
All
I'm
right,
not
so this
familiar
is
with
a
it.
breaking. This is a Babylon B. campaign video, I guess.
Hi, I'm Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. This is a message for the people of America, given in my authentically recorded non-AI voice. Thanks to my leadership over the last several years, California has become a world leader in extremist left-wing governance. My policies were so effective that almost 1 million people are now fleeing the state every year. We even ran out of U-Hauls. During the COVID pandemic, I locked everyone in their homes and shut down businesses for months. Not the French Laundry, though. That's my favorite restaurant. Last year, I cleaned up the dangerous, messy streets of San Francisco, because Chinese Communist President Xi was coming, and I really wanted to impress him. He's my boss, after all. This year, I signed legislation that allows me to take custody of your kid if you refuse to give him artificial hormones and chop off his genitals. Because if you don't do that, you're a bigot, and bigots shouldn't be allowed to have kids. I've also led the way in green energy by banning all cars that don't run on electricity. Then I banned almost all the electricity. This is smart leadership. On my watch, the cost of living and homelessness have skyrocketed. Schools are failing. Drug dealers and human traffickers are pouring across the border. And poop has covered the sidewalks of San Francisco. This is the positive, joyful vision we offer as Democrats. That's why I'm enthusiastically endorsing Kamala Harris for president in 2024. She'll do to the country everything I did in California. Anyway, I'm California Governor Gavin Newsom, and I approve this 100% real message, which is a recording of my voice without the assistance of any AI whatsoever. This isn't a deep fake, and you can rest assured that it isn't, because I just signed an unconstitutional law outlawing deep fakes. No one would dare violate it. Thank you, and Science Plus America.
Science Plus America. That's a podcast title.
Dude, and freaking Gavin actually responded to this. Okay?
Really?
This is
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's another video.
I got it right here.
The second video.
Oh my God. Let's see this.
Missed the punchline. Parody is still alive and well in California, but deep fakes and manipulation of elections, that hurts democracy and the integrity of the system and trust. And we believe in truth and trust, and we think this law is sound and will be upheld in courts.
So do you intend legal action, whether on Elon Musk or any of the proliferating?
Well, the law asserts that many can seek injunction relief, and I just signed the law. I just signed 32 other bills on housing, and I haven't had a chance to review the specific lawsuit around a conservative blogger that seems offended by our law. I think Mr. Musk has missed the punchline.
Wow. That was hilarious.
Dude, it is on.
So what is the law? What is the law? Like, it's just illegal to make deep fakes now in California, California?
I don't have the word.
It's hard to keep up with exactly which level of tyranny is rolling out at the moment, but
I just
we're
saw
Californians that were born in California.
Yeah.
I guess I have mixed opinions about it. I mean, so what is a deep fake defined as? Can someone tell me that?
I think it would be like, say you made a video that like really tried to make people think this is Donald Trump saying something that Donald Trump wouldn't say and passing it off as actually Donald Trump, right? Which would be, I mean, that's fraud. Like we already have fraud.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, which I don't think anybody, agrees with, but if somebody wants to do that, okay. I mean, we are entering an interesting technological period where it's going to be really hard to even know that any video is honest, video. Like it's kind of been a turning point. So, in a way, like I'd like to have protections from fraud, but I don't think Gavin is going to be the one to do that.
Yeah, I thought, it treads into the defamation category. If you're misquoting somebody or, using their likeness and their voice and trying to mislead people into thinking that they actually said something that they didn't say, I think you could make a case for defamation.
Well, let's try. I have another example.
But the problem is if you have it so broad when you say deep fake, right? and you're using that as like, okay, something that's generated via AI that sounds like this person, looks like this person. But if you use it in the context of a parody or just like a funny video where it's like,
That's
Joe
the
Rogan
target.
interviewing like an alien or something like.
Check out the Kamala ad link if you can.
I was going to say, yeah, I knew.
Here's
I knew
another
that.
example.
I knew that Elon did a Kamala ad that was similar with her, basically saying all these horrible things that she didn't say. But I always like the SNL videos, right? The SNL where they spoof somebody, they do an imitation of a candidate, of a political candidate, and it's funny, it's comical. But even if it's incisive, like it's making a point, I still think that should be allowed. I'm not really that fond of the total fakes where it's the viewer doesn't really know if what they're watching is real or fake.
That sounds fraudulent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time.
Another trick is trying to sound
See, that's not a deepfake. That's actually her.
That's her. Another trick is to pretend to be black.
though.
I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And just remember, when voting this November, it is
really
important
say that?
to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean, Joe Biden. You think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh man!
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
I think we're entering a golden age. Like literally, this is hilarious stuff now.
I'm super excited about that.
I don't know.
Hilarious.
I think it was pretty obvious it wasn't really her. You never want to. You can never really.
Yeah.
You can never really underestimate how gullible people are, though. So I think some viewers would be like, "Wow, this is real." I think it would fool some people.
That
but it's
actually
not
sounds
fraud,
like the
though.
intelligence of a typical voter. So maybe there is cause for concern from Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. Yeah, because that is true. There's a lot of dumb people out there who there's so many videos that are just so clearly staged. Like if you go through I mean, it just immediately you see the format of the video. I'm like, oh, this is staged. And
Yeah.
people are in the comments like, oh my god, that poor person, or oh my gosh, can you believe this? And they're
That guy
tagging
walked
their
up and
friends.
just slapped that homeless person in the face.
Right? Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Yeah, and that guy just
stupid
happened to
shit.
be filming at the right perfect
Yeah.
angle, and
Yeah, the
The
security
important thing-
camera. Yeah.
The important thing is to train yourself to be able to filter this shit and figure out what's real and what's fake and what. I mean, it gets harder and harder, especially in clown world, right?
True.
But I mean, AI's
Clown world.
AI's not quite at the point where it's going to fool you into thinking something's real. But that voice was very. I mean, was that an AI voice or was that like a good impersonator?
I think it was AI voice.
That was AI.
Yeah, the AI voices are really good.
It's
that's where I
creepy.
think the danger is right now of actually trying to pass something off as fraudulent.
Well,
is yeah.
I'm
The
worried
voice
about
is really
it
good.
from like
The video isn't
from
really
like a
there yet.
fishing from like a fishing perspective, right?
Yeah.
If they can match your voice that well, then they can like call my mom and sound like me and ask her
That's
for
happened
money.
before.
Like,
I mean,
That's
Babs,
happened.
there's literally hours and hours and hours of you talking on this podcast.
I know.
If somebody wanted to, they could definitely just create a model of you, an AI model of you, and just have you say whatever the fuck they want. In fact, I might do that just for fun. I might make a whole soundboard of you just saying shit.
I'll get him talking about like the Constitution, how much we need a rule.
How much
of
he loves
order.
the flag.
Yeah,
I love the American flag.
Oh, that's great. Oh man.
But it is kind of a weird time in sort of where this new technology is creating new opportunities for humor, right? And for and I think it's even it's more important than creating fake stuff is allowing them to say real stuff might be fake, right?
Yeah.
Because in fact they were blaming, like they were already blaming real videos of like Biden being retarded or falling down and calling that deep fake. Remember
Those are
that like
cheap
from like 6
fakes.
months ago?
Those
Yeah.
were cheap
Cheap.
fakes.
Oh, I'm sorry, cheap fakes. Okay.
Yeah, but
okay.
that was before he dropped out.
But as soon as
Well,
you
they
give
were-
them the slightest little chance to say, okay, we're not going to allow this level of fake video because it's just too something, right? Soon as you just allow that little foot in the door, right, it's over, right? Because that's so easy to expand into any kind of meme, any kind of parody, any kind of reference to a war crime. Like it just gives them a whole nother vector to just delete your shit.
Yeah. Did Gavin Newsom pass that bill in response to this video that we just watched? Like, is that an old video that kicked off this legislation banning the deep fakes in California?
No, this
The
so
Kamala
this came out
video
in
or
response to
or
the
the B
bill.
video?
The Gavin Newsom video. There was one with him.
Yeah, yeah.
And I could see him
They
taking
literally
that personally.
mentioned the law in that video.
Oh, right.
So unless
right.
they're time travelers.
So the video came after.
Yeah,
You're right.
fake one came after the law, and then what you saw him was responding to the creation of that deep fake against him, saying,
Mhm.
"I must have missed the punchline."
I think he might have been talking about the Kamala video actually, though, because he says Elon missed the punchline, and Elon was the one who made the Kamala one, right? Supposedly.
Either made it
know.
or shared it. I think he maybe just shared somebody else's.
He probably just shared it.
Yeah.
But this
Either
is
way.
part of the, let's face it, Gavin Newsom, is he like young global leader for World Economic Forum? Like something tells me he's like cut from that cloth,
American psycho,
right?
dude.
Yeah, he's not young, but he's an up and coming Democrat. I mean, he was definitely
But
floated.
is he Klaus Schwab influenced here? Because it just seems like he's definitely doing that agenda, kind of like Canada.
Probably. I just look at it as a Democratic Party. I don't really blame Klaus Schwab. I know that's what people like to do, but I just look at him as a party man. And when before we had Kamala, they were talking about he was possibly going to be the new person to step in, right? He was one of the
he was the guy.
names. Yeah, and I know a lot about him.
Well,
just because
he has the hair for it.
The governor.
Because,
So the governor
His hair.
spoke. Governor Newsom gave opening remarks at Climate Week NYC.
Oh god.
And then later spoke at the World Economic Forum Summit today, which was I don't know when today is. It's not
well, that
dated,
probably
but-
answers your question. James.
2019.
Yeah,
There he
Adam
is.
Carolla
He's
complains
been at it for
about
a
him.
while.
Adam Carolla complains about him a lot, and he talks about how elusive he is, like with answering questions, and how he'll, give non-answers and change the subject and do all this stuff.
He's
and
trained. He's
well,
trained.
He's a
trained
snake.
Marxist. Remember the
He's a
trained
snake.
Marxist? Yeah. But he's got
Yeah.
the hair.
Yep. He's got a spiffy looking haircut, I guess. Anyway,
Well, I'd like to
I
see
guess-
people at least ridiculing him. I mean,
Oh yeah,
what else can you
it's
do?
always good. Yeah.
That video was
So-
actually pretty well done.
Oh yeah, it was. It was. But you know what? Also, is going to be well done. The After Hours
After
podcast.
Hours.
There you go. You all know that. Well, I guess that's about wraps it up for tonight.
I'm gonna come.
Wait.
There we go.
Wait.
Yeah.
We gotta pump the Rage Against the
I was
the War.
getting there.
All right, we got a video promo. Can you play the video promo?
You want to play the video promo? You want to
Dude,
do that?
video promo?
Yeah, there's a video promo.
Where is it? I can't just like conjure it out of thin air, dude.
Okay, I thought you guys. I thought you guys had seen it. It's pretty good.
So yes, great point by James. We are sponsoring the Rage Against the War Machine rally on September 28th in Washington, D.C. at the Washington Monument. Please come out there. Last year was so much fun. We were the only ones who live streamed it. Yes, please come. And
Do not come.
Don't listen to Kamala.
Don't listen to Kamala. Be like Joe Biden, and you can come on the. Yeah, you can.
I think I posted the link here.
What's the date? Otto?
September 28th, Saturday the 28th. So in about 2 weeks ish, whatever, give or take. 9 days.
Yeah, it's not 2 weeks; it's 9 days.
Yeah, 9 days.
9 days.
So if you want to play the video real quick, it's right there, Jared.
Ooh.
But yeah, so we'll be sponsoring that, and it's gonna be cool, good time. Lots of people are gonna be there speaking. Very excited. Ian, I always forget his last name. He just got added on to speak, which I'm super excited about. But yeah, so here's the promo.
There's a block of hotel rooms available for if you want to stay overnight.
So here you go. Listen to this before we head on out.
Never an exit strategy. There was never an exit strategy. No glide path out of Afghanistan. There was an intention to stay indefinitely. Lots of people were benefiting, not the American people, and certainly not our soldiers and Marines.
I hate coming to Washington, D.C. It's where our once humble, limited government republic came to die. It was murdered by an establishment that only serves their own self-interest.
They talk about ending the wars. They talk about bringing our troops home. When?
They know that we have the power to make them stop.
Let's permanently break the back of the D.C. war party and bring our troops home from their endless and undeclared adventures around the world.
There is a tremendous amount of animosity between myself and the GOP who ran around talking as if they're Ron Paul and then governing as if they're John McCain.
Enough is enough. They're tired of being lied to constantly. They're tired of being looked down upon by these elitists.
They don't care if you're right wing or left wing. They don't care if you're a camouflage Trumper or progressive social justice activist. They don't care if you are libertarian or communist. All they want you to do is be out here to rage against this sick, satanic, neoconservative war machine. Negotiate now. End this war.
Nice.
Well done.
Yeah.
Who made that?
Highly suggest. Who do you think?
Dan Smoltz.
Dan.
Nice.
It's always Dan. If it's a cool video about libertarianism stuff, it's
Dude,
Dan.
that is a badass edit. I mean,
good.
What great content, and he's like the way he put that together is like so dramatic.
Yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, you guys get a little bit. Those are some clips from some of the speeches that were there last time. Please send us some money, man. We need help getting there. Also go to rageagainstwar.com and feel free to give them money too as well. And it'd be great. It'd be good seeing you guys. So come on out. And also if you can't make it out, but you also want to donate to our show, sign up for our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/punkrocklibertarians. Sign up for as little as $3 a month. You get access to the whole back catalog of shows. And you also get, we'll send you every week. We go live on our After Hours podcast. And we'll send you a link to it. You get to listen in, comment, and it's all good stuff. So there's different tiers. One level you get a t-shirt. We're still looking for a Fed level. So you don't have to come to your house and be embarrassed, federal agents. You don't have to come to my house. I won't embarrass you. I will not videotape you and shame you.
Do not come.
Yes. Well, you can come on my in the overflow room if you want. But I'm
gonna come in the overflow room.
There you go.
I got a lot of cum related sound bites.
We're such children. But yeah, so if we're looking for our first Fed level Patreon, it's only $1,000 a month, and I'll let you in on all the secrets, all the stuff going on. I'll let you know Kyle's really a hardcore anarchist. He just puts on this minarchist front because he's trying to hide.
We'll talk
all
about
this.
ghost gunners, 3D
Yeah.
printing weapons.
Yep.
Tax
We'll tell you
strategies.
all of it. Yep.
Right.
So anyway,
like
go
our underground railroad, like
Harry Tubman
Kyle.
nudes.
Right.
Yeah, Harry Tubman nudes. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. So please sign up for our Patreon, and there's other ways to donate to our show if you go to prlfans.com. And we also have t-shirts for sale over at libertariancountry.com. If you use the code PRL or PRL Podcast, you get a 10% discount. And if you use the code PRL2 and you spend $50 or more, you'll get a 20% discount. And until next time, live free
or die.